Again, solving an equation, I'm going to look for what works. First thing I want to do, get that radical all by itself. Subtract 5 to each side. Where I'd like to combine these, I'm just going to have a binomial. X minus 5 equals square root of x plus 7. Notice I can't combine those because that's underneath the radical. It's part of the radicand. For the same reason, I can't minus 7 to each side. I got to get rid of the radical first. Square it. Square will cancel out the radical, leaving me the x plus 7. But what I do to one side, I got to do to the other. Meaning, if I have x minus 5 squared, remember what that means is x minus 5 times x minus 5, meaning, FOIL it on out, x squared, I end up with a minus 10x, or, well, minus 5x, giving me a minus 10x, plus 25 equals x plus 7. But now, one of the big differences between last time, I have a quadratic. I can't take a square root because there's an x in there. And I can't combine those terms, and I can't just subtract and divide because I have an x squared. What I need to do is set one side equal to 0 and factor. When I'm setting one side equal to 0, take everything on over. Minus 11x plus 18 equals 0. Factor away. X and x, remember, since that's a positive, it tells me they have to be the same sign. Since that's a negative, they're both going to be negative. In this case, 3 and 6 would be nice, but 9 and 2 are what my answers end up being. And again, it wouldn't matter what order you put in. Big picture, negative 9 times negative 2 is positive 18. Negative 9 plus negative 2 is negative 11. And what I end up with is, where I could say x minus 9 equals 0, what I want to do is add 9 to each side. My shortcut was change the signs. X minus 2, change the sign. X equals 2, x equals 9. Those are what should work. I should be able to put them in and check my answer, separate them with comma, but here's the problem. Go back to my original equation. Up there at the top, x equals square root of x plus 7 plus 5. And what's going to happen is, let's plug in the 9. Does 9 equal square root of 9 plus 7 is 16. Square root of 16 is 4 plus 5 is 9. All right, sweet, we're in business. That's one of my answers. But let's check 2. Does 2 equal square root of 2 plus 7 is square root of 9 plus 5 is 3 plus 5 is 8. We've got a problem. The problem is that 2 didn't work, and what we call it is extraneous solution. It wasn't that we made a mistake. And once again, sometimes you get one answer, sometimes you get 2. Sometimes the 1 is extraneous, sometimes it isn't. Sometimes you get 2, sometimes they're both extraneous, making no solution. Sometimes they both work. Sometimes one's extraneous, and when one's extraneous, the other one's just the answer. Extraneous does not mean no solution. No solution means nothing works. Extraneous means that number doesn't work. We still have 9 that works for this equation.